Now then, my next guest is one of the world's true superstars. Will you please welcome Dolly Parton?
Well, thank you for the nice welcome, and hello to you.
Hello, Dolly.
Yeah, I've never heard that one
I
before.
didn't think you'd ever heard that before. And I wasn't going to say it until you said that hello to me. I've been trying to get you on this couch for years.
I heard that, and I figured it was long enough in waiting, so I'm happy to be here with you.
Well, it's great to have you here. Now, look, I've been reading about you. Reading all about Dolly. Right?
Okay.
And this, I'm just going to check a few things along the way. Is that right? The one thing jumped out of the page I was reading. They're making up their own jokes.
I can't wait to hear this one.
That you, once for a bet, streaked through Beverly Hills. Streaked through Is that true, Dolly?
Well, not just through Beverly Hills. This was one night, a bunch of girlfriends and I were out to dinner. That's when Tom Jones was in the heat of his career, and you know how sexy he is anyway, right? And he had this beautiful home in Beverly Hills, and we'd been to the restaurant near his house. And I said, I wonder what old Tom Jones would think if I just streaked through his yard.
You never did.
I did, but the bad thing is he didn't see me.
Oh.
But the girls did, so it was okay. The limo driver liked it. He saw it.
What did he say? That is unusual.
But I tell you, it was so fast it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
You're a little tearaway, aren't you?
Oh, I was feeling good. I'd had a couple of glasses of wine and feeling a little rowdy.
But Dolly, taking you right back when you were a kid, right?
I was a kid then.
And you were always a kid, it seems to me.
Yeah.
But like going right back to, you were brought up in a shack in the Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
It sounds like the yearling, from a log cabin. A big family.
Well, there's 12 children in my family, 6 girls and 6 boys. And I always say my mom had one on her and one in her, as long as I can remember. But they were great parents. We lived on a farm. We grew all our own food. My grandfather was a Pentecostal preacher, and so I grew up singing. And my mom's people were always singing. Mama was always singing around the house.
It was a strict family, wasn't it?
Well, my father's was not too... Well, he was strict on us as far as discipline, but he was not extremely religious. But my mother's people were very religious, and it was not allowed to wear makeup in the hair. And the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my life we didn't go to town that much, but when I would go to see her because she had these long red fingernails, she wore bright lipstick, she had peroxide blonde hair, wore tight clothes, short, and I thought she was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. And my mother said, oh, she's just trash. She's just a tramp. And I thought, that's what I want to be when I grow up. So I grew up to look like that, and in all sincerity, you know, it was a serious look. So when I got to where I could afford to buy a bottle of peroxide, I made my hair blonde, and I love playing in makeup. Yeah. But I'm not too trashy. I just sound that way.
You're not trashy. Although you could have been on the road to being trashy. Well, not trashy, you were playing little girl. When you were a young teenager, is that right? I can't believe this. That Dolly Parton was taking her shoulder pads out of her clothes and putting them down the front to get a bit of shape? Is this right?
I used to when I was a girl. Well, I started to grow, you know, pretty quick. And I saw that was going to do me a lot of good. I know the boys noticed me, and I liked that because I knew I was looking more like that girl in town that I thought was. So I used to steal the shoulder pads out of my grandma's coat before they had those Fredericks push-up bras. Oh, yeah. And I would push them up. And my grandma never could figure out what kept happening to the shoulder pads in her coat. But yeah, I mean, it's like you do what you got to do when you're a girl.
So you were fashion conscious as a kid, and you mentioned makeup. And you're quite happy about, you say, makeup, that's it, got to wear it. Mm-hmm. You're not going to go anywhere without it?
Not if I can help it. It's like I'm very funny, even like at night if I'm in hotel rooms, I'm always afraid, well, if I'm on a very high floor and if there's a fire, I always try to like not clean everything. I'll try to clean my skin, but I'll leave my eye makeup on a little bit. And I think, now if I got to get out of here in a hurry.
Like an earthquake?
Like an earthquake, that too. I think that if I had all my makeup off and looked as bad as I can look, and the building was burning down, I'd just go down with it. Before I would get out looking like that. Because then I'd kill a lot of other people.
Now then, moving on.
Okay.
You met your husband, Carl, let me get this right, in the wishy-washy laundrette.
Well, that's right.
Well, you both put your stuff in a...
Well, this was when I first moved to Nashville in 1964. I was doing dirty laundry because I was in such a hurry to move to Nashville from my home in East Tennessee, which was 200 miles away. I'd never been in a laundromat before, and I was, you know, trying to figure out how all that worked and washing my clothes that I brought. Walked outside, there was this good-looking man that drove by the wishy-washy laundromat, and he pulled over to the side.
I'm not surprised.
Well, I look kind of like that girl I was talking about earlier. I guess he thought I was. And so we started talking, and we married 2 years later, and we've been married for 32 years now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, must have been meant to be.
The funny thing is, though, you have been married a long time.
Yeah, we have.
And yet you don't see a lot of each other on tour. Is that right?
Well, back in the early days when I was really on the road a lot, we didn't see each other all the time. But that's why we've lasted 32 years, because we're not in each other's face all the time. But we do spend more time than the press would lead you to believe. But he's very independent, so am I. He likes it when I'm gone. I like it when I'm gone. And when we're together, we enjoy it.
That's great.
Yeah.
You've obviously he's had an influence on you, because I know you've dedicated a song now and again to your husband. What was that? Because I'm a Woman. Wasn't he involved in that?
Oh, that's the first hit record I ever had as a solo artist. It's called Just Because I'm a Woman. It's like, my mistakes are no worse than yours, just because I'm a woman. This was when we first married.
Oh, I see.
We were being so honest with each other, and he'd never asked me before, so I felt no need to tell him. We'd been married about 8 months. So he asked me if I'd ever been, you know, with anybody else. And I didn't want to say. I tried to avoid it, and then when I did, well, he didn't like it very much, and it caused some hurt feelings, and so I wrote that song, because it's like, you want me to be perfect, and you can do what you want to do, but my mistakes are no worse than yours just because I'm a woman, that kind of thing. So I actually wrote the first woman's lib song without realizing it. That was back in I guess 67, 66, I wrote that.
You made some great movies. You made some wonderful movies. 9 to 5, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Hey, there was a rumor about a romance, and you and Burt Reynolds. Any truth in that?
Oh, no.
No?
Burt and I were too much alike, you know.
He doesn't wear lipstick.
No, but we both wore high heels. He always lifts in his shoes.
Really?
At that time, we both had a roll around the middle. And he wears a toupee, and I wear a wig. So I said, I don't want to fight with him over who's fighting over the wig glue and over the high heels. So no, but he was great. He was great. In fact, one of the funniest things that happened on that movie, he was beginning to turn gray. He played the sheriff. I don't know if you saw the movie, but he had to put black in his mustache, because when he grew his own mustache, it had some gray in it. And when we did our first big kiss on that I Will Always Love You song, and when they pulled back the first time, they had to do it again because my mouth was just all black. and I couldn't figure out what it was. And it's like all of a sudden everybody on the set just started laughing. It just looked like I'd been sucking a sow. You know, it was like so dirty, but it was pretty funny.
Was that the last scene of the movie? Because I was told there was a story about it.
Oh, the last scene, it was when he, and this is the truth too, that's when I was heavy. You know,
heavy?
I weighed quite a bit there. I'm not, no, I can't say that. But anyway, so Bert had to pick me up. There was one of the scenes where he picked me up to carry me off, and he was already having trouble with, he had a hernia. And after after the movie, as soon as it was over, he was going to have surgery. And so after he picked me up trying to be the fine actor that he was, he just went right ahead and done it. And he had to have surgery for double hernia. Swear to goodness. That's what I always say. It's like when they used to say bring the double wide on the set, they weren't talking about the truck. They were talking about me. But I lost weight since then.
You're so honest. All these stories. And you're honest on another subject. You talk about, you like to call them nature's enhancements, cosmetic surgery. Now, let me try to remember, and you can correct me if this quote is wrong. You said, I've had nips and tucks and trims and sucks, boobs and waists and butts and such, eyes and chin and back again, pills and peels and collagen. you didn't really have all those things. No way.
Well, you know
I'm sitting close, no way.
Well, I have done what I need done. You know, to me, when you're in show business, and if you see something sagging and dragging and bagging, I say if you can afford it and you got the nerve to do it,
must cost a lot.
Go do it. But no, I mean, I kind of enjoy everything that I've kind of created this image. I enjoy doing all that for all the reasons that I told you. And like I said, I don't know if I'm supporting them or they're supporting me. But we've had a good career. But anyway, getting back to a more serious answer, if I need, collagen, you know, is just those little protein injections. If you get like a big wrinkle like you got right there.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Dolly.
Well, come here, I'll show you what to do. So they just put some protein in there, and then they just kind of take a little needle and kind of just fill it in just a little.
I tell you, so it's wonderful. You're not afraid to laugh at yourself, which is rare in a man and almost unique in a female. And you're obviously proud of your figure. I'm sitting here, you got such tiny little feet, tiny little waist.
Well, I got little feet because nothing grows in the shade.
What about what's going on in America? Events in the White House. You got any view on what's been going on there?
Oh, well, that's sad. I really, it's like when something bad happens in your own family. It's sad and it's bad, but it's a bad wound, but you hope that it'll heal and not
Americans
leave too
are
many
upset,
scars.
aren't they? They're really...
Well, it's a bad thing. It's embarrassing.
Did you ever meet President Clinton?
Well, no, I didn't. It's probably just as well. Well, really?
Dolly, what do you make of men over here? What do you think? What do you think about us?
Oh, the men are great over here. Yeah, I mean, it's like I used to come here years ago, and I've always had a good time. The men are always very gentlemanly, very courteous. The women are always nice. It's been a long time since I've been here, and so I don't know what I'm going to do this trip. What are you doing after the show?
Well, I'm going to see a cosmetic surgeon. I don't worry about those things.
You're going to think about it.
I promise you, that doesn't worry me. If I'd have had anything done, it would have been this.
You look great. You look great. I was just trying to tell you what collagen is.
You're a kind man.
I'll never graduate from collagen.
I'll tell you this. Well, I've had some fun times over the years in this couch, and you've been one of the most enjoyable chats I've ever had.
Well, thank you.
You're just great fun. Now, you're going to sing this song for us, Salt in My Tears?
Yeah, You Ain't Worth the Salt in My Tears. This is the new single.
Dolly Parton going to sing for us now. Beautiful, Dolly. Just Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton.
How's it going? Good to see you. Hello, John.
That's a great track.
Thank
That's
you.
a great track too.
It is indeed.
Yeah,
Fresh off the presses.
Yeah, that's the English number. That's the pucker
Yes,
thing.
I'm a secret reserve, you see.
Are you? Yes, exactly. You once said, I read, that you would give up everything to play for England, right?
I've given up everything. Given up sex, given up booze, given up drugs, and everything. And they still haven't picked me, right? No.
I am delighted to see that you are back as chairman of Watford, because you don't know this.
Yeah.
It's my local.
I know you've been to the game. Haven't you?
Yeah, but I'm going to come now. I'm showing off. Now you're in Division 1.
Now we're in Division 1.
Yeah, they're not all.
Fair weather supporter.
No, I'm going to stick with you now. I'll go down. You're passionate about football. I mean, you take it very seriously.
Well, I don't think you should do anything like that unless you are passionate.
Being chairman, I mean, you're chairman again, you left it for a while. When you were there, when you first came in, some other directors of other clubs weren't too thrilled with Elton John, were they? They were...
Well, that's not entirely, I mean, only a couple
That's the story goes.
Well, only a couple of times I've had, you know, you don't go into football wearing high-heeled shoes that are 8 inches tall and orange hair and expect to be taken seriously.
Did you?
Yeah, I was 6'4" when I first became chairman of Watford. and then, because I wore 8-inch high platform shoes. I've got a picture of the old chairman, Mr. Bonser, and I'm, you know, towering above him. And, yeah, I got ridiculed a bit at some other grounds, but most people were very polite and very nice and very welcoming.
Could you be, if not playing for England,
yes,
could you be a manager? Have you got a
Who
temperature?
won the job of being manager? I imagine they call Graham Turner a turnip. Imagine what they call me. Yeah, I mean, please, that's right. Thank you very much, yeah. A few words spring to mind and I'm not saying them, right.
What advice, if you were the manager, would you give someone like Gaza? What would you say to him at the moment?
To Gaza?
Yeah.
I don't know Paul very well, but I just think he's a really nice lad who just likes the odd pint every now and then. Yeah. And I think listen, there was nothing wrong with George Best when he played. He was half out of his skull from hungover the night before. Nobody played better than he did.
You know that picture? We've got a picture, we're going to put it up. That
right.
famous picture of Vinnie Jones grabbing Gaza.
Yeah. You put my head on Gaza's face, right? Thank you. Yeah.
No, we were playing a game the other day.
And you want me to put a caption up?
We were putting, like, getting to know you. And then we had one of yours up, which was, don't go breaking my heart.
Don't go breaking my nuts. Or that I honestly love you. Oh.
Great fun as ever, Elton. Couple of big questions, all right?
Yes.
Who's going to win it? Who's going to win? Now, honestly, who do you think will win? If you have to put a few bob on them.
It's just very difficult. Very difficult. I mean, obviously, I would like England or Scotland to win it, but I think England have got a good chance of getting into the final rounds. My tip, and it's a long... I mean, nobody's mentioned them. I just want the European team to win it. I mean, I think Brazil or Argentina are going to be thereabouts, but I think Holland could win it.
Holland?
Yeah.
Okay. Elton, I've been fortunate to get some invites from you over the years to parties, like real... I mean, you don't mess around when you have a party.
No, I don't, no.
When he has a party, he has a party. Now, if they should win...
Yes.
If England should win, you planning anything to celebrate that?
Well, we'll see if they win first.
One last thing. If they win, would you come back and sing a duet with me?
If they win, I'll sleep with you.
Well, my thanks to Elton John. Promises.
You'll win it now, aren't you?
Promises. Thanks to Elton John, to all our guests. Stay there. Thank you for joining us for our party. Guest has won platinum discs for singing and Oscars for acting. She's a top lady. Glad she's here. Will you welcome Cher?
They're Englishmen.
They're very much Englishmen and English ladies. Please, hey, I've got to say one thing to you. A long time ago, Joan Rivers sat just there, and she said to me, "I've got to introduce you, Des, to my friend Cher. You and her will get on fine." That was 10 years ago. What happened? Did she never give you?
She never even told me about you.
Oh, I'm deflated.
Well,
let's talk about your movies, because there was one on here quite recently, Suspect.
Yep.
And take this in the right way. Watching that, I forgot you were a singer. It was very convincing. Suddenly, you look at an actress, and I would like, and I think a lot of people I've been chatting to would like you to do more movies, but you seem to be very choosy. Are you fussy about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like when I find something that I like, that's when I want to do it. But this year, I'm gonna kind of stop touring, and I'm gonna stop doing records, and I'm gonna concentrate on. I'm gonna try and make 2 films this year.
2?
Yeah.
Can we hear about it?
Well, no.
Oh, come on. No. Dress you wore when you picked up that award. See? It was pretty... I I mean, were you sewn into that?
No, I'm kind of used to that kind of clothing, you know? I've been doing it for years and years, and it's just kind of like strategically placed beads.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't see anything.
Who gets that job, by the way?
Who's strategically sewing the beads?
Yes.
Well, they do it on a dummy.
Oh.
Don't make any fun.
Oh, would I make? When you were in there, I mean, if you wanted to go somewhere to the ladies' school, was that it? You were in it for the night? You could never take it off, I wouldn't have thought.
No, but it was very. You'd be surprised how easy those clothes are to maneuver in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to hear about that.
No, but they really are.
You've never been what I would call conventional.
No.
Not the typical Hollywood star. I mean, tattoos. I think you're one of the first ladies that's a big star to say, I'm going to wear tattoos. I want to do it.
I did it such a long time ago, and also it was like 1972, and you didn't really go around showing them or talking about them. I just had one, you know, and then all of a sudden now it's kind of become the thing to do.
Where are they, Cher?
They're everywhere, Des.
They tell me that there's one on this bottom and that little bottom, and you're actually sitting on two butterflies now,
Yes,
right?
I am. Actually, a butterfly and a flower.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Why a tattoo and why a butterfly? And can I ask? I know it's silly.
No, go ahead. I don't really know. You know, it's just like one of those things. Like some people like them and some people hate them, and I can understand if you hated them. But you know, a lot of people in the world, a lot of cultures and tribes and stuff adorn themselves in strange ways, you know, and some people put plates in their lips or do all kinds of bizarre things to themselves, and it just seemed like it was something that I liked doing.
Let me talk about your daughter again.
My daughter wouldn't get a tattoo.
Why not?
Because my daughter thinks it's ridiculous.
Did she really give you a bit of stick? Did she say, Mom, what'd you do that for?
Well, no, actually, because I had one before when she was teeny, so there was nothing she could say. But like once I wanted to get a mohawk, and she threw herself against the door, and she just she was screaming at me. She said, "You're not doing this. You can't do this." And then she looked at me. She said, "You know, you should be doing this, and I should be the one who wants to get the mohawk. You know, you should be."
Do you ever think she might be right?
Well, yeah, but you know, you just have to. You are who you are. You have to get to be who you are.
Yeah, I think your daughter's getting her own back for the name you gave her. Did she ever say to you, Mum, why did you call me Chastity? That's the name, Chastity. Lovely name.
Yeah.
Why Chastity?
Well, my son's name is Elijah. I don't know. I was doing a movie, and then I got pregnant with Chas, and then when she came out, I didn't really have a name for her, but when I looked at her, that seemed to be the right name, and it seems to fit her well.
That's you again, you see. Right off the top of the head, saying what you think. I'm going to ask you, what do you think about Madonna? Is she going too far? Is she just... Because you know, you're not afraid to make people go, ooh, what's happening here? But has she taken it just a little too far?
I think that, you know, art is art, and thank God I don't have the responsibility of deciding what's too far and what's art. I mean, I've seen her book, and I thought some of the pictures were really interesting and really beautiful, and I thought some of the pictures were silly. And so, you know, I'm sure that somebody will like some parts of it. And I mean, there's a couple of just plain nude shots of her that are really beautiful, and there are a couple of pictures that don't really appeal to me, but I don't really care about it one way or another.
You have to turn the book around and do some...
Yeah. They're kind of like going like this. But I think she's very creative, and I think that she does a lot with the talent that she has.
Oh, yes. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, she's a major star, and she's not really a great singer. She's not really a great actress, but she's but she's one of the biggest stars in the world. So that's a special art, to be able to turn whatever you have into, it's like spinning straw into gold. You know, you turn whatever you have into being creative. It's a lot of energy. Yeah.
She made a lot of gold. Newspapers would have us believe that Cher is some kind of bionic woman. I mean, you even said you had your ribs removed, which is ridiculous. How exaggerated is all this? Do you get fed up with it? No, I don't believe.
Actually, the last time I was in London, I went to a doctor, a very famous plastic surgeon. I had him examine me, and then he wrote a letter to the paper, because I was finally just finished and fed up with it. And you know, people say things about you all the time. I mean, people like, you know, Elvis is paying my child support, or, you know, I mean, they're always...
You said that?
Right, yeah, I mean, there's all, you know, I've married a Martian, I'm having a Martian baby, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and most of the time, it's so ridiculous that you don't really care about it. And when I saw that first thing about having my ribs removed, and I mean, I don't even think you can have your ribs removed. I mean, I don't think they do that.
Let me ask you a silly, frivolous question. What's a toy boy got?
That you haven't got?
Got it. It just takes longer to get around to it.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, no, not my baby.
Well, baby, get on your marks. Cher, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to welcome my next guest. He's a champ too in my book. One of the great voices. Will you welcome Tom Jones? How are you, boy? All right?
Very good, yes, lovely.
Listen, you don't know this. Dolly Parton was on the show a couple of weeks back. Don't
Yeah.
really sure because you probably did it in the States. And she said, now this came out of the blue. She said that she was out with some girlfriends in Los Angeles. They'd had a couple of drinks.
Right.
And just for the hell of it, they thought they would do something wild. And she, Dolly Parton, told me on this show that she streaked across your lawn in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's right. That's
How
right.
you know about it?
Yeah, she told.
But she said that you weren't there or something.
No, I wasn't there, but she told me later because we did a show together. Because she used to have a variety show on television there in the States. So she told me about it, and I said, "Well, no, I was there, you see, but I wasn't out on the lawn. I was in the house."
What a pity.
Yeah, but I thought it was an eclipse. I thought, you know.
You ought to check your security.
Yeah.
You know the video?
I know.
It may be on it.
Be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, what? do you get lots of that? Let me qualify that question. Do you get ladies doing daft things, running across your lawn, across your green grass?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had a wall built around the front of the house because I bought the house from Dean Martin.
Yeah.
And it was open. The front of it was all lawn. And people would be, I mean, every other day, people would be picnicking on the lawn and bloody... So I had to have a wall built, you know.
You haven't had a stalker yet, have you? If you pardon that expression.
No.
What I mean...
Yeah, regularly, yeah.
I've got this lady keeps turning up in the house, you know, running around, and I say to her, Camilla, go home, Camilla. You've met Dolly Parton and you know Dolly.
Yeah, we did a few shows
Who's the
together.
most exciting, because you meet all these movie people, you see, you go to these who's the most exciting female actress that you've seen or met?
Elizabeth Taylor was very interesting because when she was married to Richard Burton, you know, I met the two of them in Germany.
Richard Burton leads me to something. There's Richard Burton, Anthony Hopkins, and now there's it's Jones the actor all of a sudden. You made another movie.
Yeah, I did a movie with Angelica Houston called The Mammy.
What are you playing there?
I play myself.
Oh.
And it's set
Is that hard work, Tom?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I had to think about it anyway, but it's supposed to be set in the 60s, 1967, in Dublin. And she is a Tom Jones fan, you know.
This is Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston, yes.
When they eventually, as they surely will do one day, when they eventually make the Tom Jones story, who do you see playing the young Tom Jones? I mean, Joe Pasquale wouldn't be right, would he? With that voice.
Well, I think that the guy that's around today that's definitely got the enthusiasm, you know, is Robbie Williams. Because I did a duet with Robbie on the Brits Award.
Yeah, he loved it. He was telling me he really enjoyed it.
So he had the leathers on, you know, and he was doing me to me. So he's got all that going for him. I suppose you'd have to put a curly wig on or something, but he's definitely got the enthusiasm for it. Oh, wait a minute, though. If they did the Des O'Connor show, I mean the Des O'Connor story, excuse me.
If they do that, what, you mean a movie?
Yeah, the movie, yeah.
Des O'Connor movie?
Well, who would play you, do you think?
No question. Tom Cruise. There's no one else. No one else could do this.
Well,
Only Tom Cruise.
When you think about it, you've got, you know, this...
Listen, I was just thinking, I was just trying to work out, I said, you know, all the guests over the years, you know, we've enjoyed this little chit-chat you and I have, and we don't rehearse, and we just see what happens. And I probably know you as well as any of the big names that have been going around the... I mean, people don't know that you and I shared a dressing room. We've actually shared a dressing room. And this girl ran in one day, a fan ran in, and we're both standing with practically nothing on. And this girl ran in, and she looked at Tom, and she went, oh. And she looked at me, and she went, ah. Tom, I know you come back and you obviously, when you can, you get down to Wales. Can you, though, can you be Tom, the boy from way back? Can you go to the local pubs? Can you just have a quiet drink?
Well, not a quiet drink, but I wouldn't want to. You know, when I go back to Pontypridd, which is my hometown, I see the fellas that I grew up with, and, you know, we go on a bit of a pub crawl.
Once a Welshman, always a Welshman.
Yeah.
It's interesting reading some stuff even that I didn't know about you. I didn't know, for instance, that I didn't know you brought the local phone box from Treforest.
Yeah.
It's very interesting there. Why?
Well, it was at the end...
And you took it back to the States, right?
Yeah, it was at the end of our street, in Laura Street. I grew up in a street called Laura Street, and that was our phone. You know, it was at the end of the street. Nobody had a telephone in their houses in those days.
Didn't Linda and you used to court in that?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
used to do a bit of necking in that.
Well, yeah.
You've said your family started in that box, not literally.
Yeah, it did literally, yeah.
But you've said so much of your life revolved around that box that you had to have that phone box.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was because when it rains, you know, which it does a lot in Wales. So, you know, when we'd be courting as kids, we grew up together, my wife and myself, and we would get into that telephone box when it was raining. So.
You're going to sing a song for us in a moment here called "The Vaults of Heaven."
Yeah, The Vaults of
What's
Heaven.
the story about? That's an Andrew Lloyd Webber song.
Yeah, it's from the musical that he did called "Whistle Down the Wind." Yeah. So the CD is coming out with all pop singers doing different songs.
Right, you're going to sing this song for us now. By the way, go home and check that security video.
I will, definitely. And you know, I didn't think about that.
No, and if Dolly is running around...
Yeah.
Anyway, right. You're going to sing for us now?
Yeah.
Tom Jones is going to sing Vaults from Heaven. Tom, thank you so much for popping in again. Tom Jones, good to see you, son. Tom Jones, on your marks, come Tom Jones. Our guest tonight is one of the most beautiful women in the world. She's got just about the greatest voice you've ever heard. She's sold 30 million albums, ladies and gentlemen. We're delighted to welcome here Whitney Houston. I think they're happy to see you.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right now, Whitney, a lot has happened since you were on the show in London. You've you got yourself married.
Yes.
And you're having a baby.
Yes.
And you're making a new movie.
Yeah, I made it already.
You made it already?
Yeah, it's already done.
So when do we see it?
In December. Late November, December.
And what about back home? I mean, that's in America I'm talking about. American release here is in November.
Yeah,
Do we get it at the same time?
I don't know. I don't know if you will or not.
We better check that out, because
Yeah,
they'll be
we
watching.
better check that out. Huh?
That's called The Bodyguard?
The Bodyguard.
What are you playing it? I mean, you're with Kevin Costner.
Well, I'm not the bodyguard.
No, you wouldn't be that.
No, I play an entertainer, a rock star, pop star, who is an actress, who is haunted and hunted by this maniac killer. Oh. Yeah, it's kind of like love me to death kind of thing, you know. They love me so much.
What's Kevin Costner playing it then?
He's the bodyguard.
He's the one?
Yes, he's hired to guard my body.
Yo, what a nice job.
And he's hired to do this particular job. And, you know, he and I at first don't get along, you know, because he comes in and just rearranges my whole life. And of course, I don't like that. So there's a lot of conflict in the beginning, but we learned to be friends. And
did you enjoy making a movie?
Yes, I did.
What about some more? Will you make some more?
I think so. It's hard, you know. It takes a lot of concentration, but you enjoy the results.
Now, you're going to sing the song from the movie for us, which is called I Will Always.
I Will Always Love You.
Always love you. Before you do that, I'm going to ask just a couple of things. What about
what you want to know.
What about, I mean, how's Bobby shaping up as a husband?
Well, he was always a good man.
Is he romantic?
Oh, yes. Very romantic. He romances me to death. Yeah.
Whoop-a-dee-doo-dah.
But he's a good man, so he's a good husband.
Well, that's great. Okay, you're going to sing this song for us.
Yes, I will.
So you get on your marks, the song from the movie.
Yes.
Called I Will Always Love You.
I'll always
Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Houston. I think they like that. You know what's unusual about you? I mean, the success at the moment is phenomenal. There's not another word. It's phenomenal. And yet, and the production team told me this, the producer said, you know, sometimes we have guests on the show and they ask for special dressing room requirements. They want this, they want that. You know what Garth asked for? A peanut butter sandwich. Oh, and a door for the room. The Dallas concert. Now tell me about this Dallas concert. Not one, 3 of them. Is this right that you sold out 65,000 seats in something like 3 days? No, it was 90 minutes, the first box office, wasn't it?
We had 3 shows at 65,000 each, and we were fortunate enough at the end of the 195,000 tickets to be about 5 hours further down the line than when we started.
It must give you some special buzz to realize that's happening before you get on.
I mean, it feels wonderful. It's the same as if you play for 10,000 people. It's all about entertaining and having fun, but yeah, when it's rolling and it's going.
Yeah. How many guitars do you smash? Is that something that just happened to do it in the act every night?
What you saw was the only one that I ever had. I tried it a couple weeks later in Houston, and it just didn't work. But
why did you do it in Dallas?
well, we did it for the film, basically, just for the film.
Did it just happen, or did you say, hey, it'd be good to do something crazy?
No, well, there's kind of a sad story that goes along.
Tell us.
The guitar company that makes our guitars for us said, look, what we'll do for you is we'll send you factory seconds. So you'll smash these things. We break them anyway, so you might as well do it. And the night of the concert, they came in, and we opened them up, and they were all the wrong guitars. So we needed 8 guitars. We went out that night and went to every music store in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and bought 8 guitars each at about $1,400 a piece, and had to break these 8 guitars, and it killed me. Oh, man. It just, I still hate to think about it.
You were born, I read, in a place called Yukon. Where are you now? You're living in Nashville?
Yes, sir, just north of Nashville.
Is that right, that you still go to the same places, same supermarket you used to go, and you're still seeing the same people?
Sandy and I's big thing, when we lived back in Oklahoma, we couldn't afford anything, but we'd always go to Walmart and then just shop around and think about things that someday we could be able to buy. Well, now Walmart is open 24 hours a day. So at 3 in the morning, we just get dressed and go down and shop around Walmart.
Where did you meet your wife, by the way, Garth?
I met her at college at Oklahoma State.
Well, that's not what I was told. I was told you were a bouncer somewhere. Is that right? You worked as a bouncer once?
I worked as a bouncer at Oklahoma State for extra money, and that's how I met my wife. I had to throw her out.
I'd like to hear a little more about that.
No, you don't, believe me.
I'm not going to hear no more.
It just...
what was she doing that you wanted to... Oh, I had to throw her out.
She just... she was having a... What do you call it? A dispute. Let's put it that way.
Who win?
With 3 other girls.
Oh. Did you throw them all out?
No, the other 3 girls pretty much ran out. She was the only one left there, so I had to escort her out.
So as you threw her out, did you give her the phone number? I mean, what?
Well, I gave her some, some great line like we guys can really come up with, something stupid. And for some reason she said, okay, because I'd offered to drive her home because she wasn't in any shape to go home. She had busted up her hand and stuff.
Well, it was a big a rumble.
Oh, yeah. So I got her home, and then, of course, when you're sitting there, and she only lived like 100 yards from where I did, and when you're that close to your house at night with a girl that you think's just cute as can be, you come up with the real good line, And I told her pretty much that my roommate, which at the time was Ty, the guy who played guitar with over there, told him he was gone, and if she didn't want to go all the way home, which was only another 100 yards, she could spend the night there at the place, and she told me to drop dead, and chose another couple really nice words that I remember, and I watched her walk off. So I thought that was cool, and I called her the next day, and we started dating, and 2.5 years later we got married.
When are we going to see you in the UK, in Britain?
In April.
April?
Yes.
Are you listening out there?
I'm
Tell them
very
where you're
excited.
going to be. Have you got a date?
We
Got
don't
an
know.
itinerary?
We don't know where we're going to be. I know we'll start the world tour in Dublin over in April, and then we'll come on inland and start. The next stop will be the UK, but I'm not sure where yet.
Well, thank you for dropping in here for me.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you for the invitation.
On your mark, Hang on down to the show comes on. What a welcome, please, for Celine Dion! Lovely to have you back. Thanks for coming. The good news is, I'm told that Renee is here with you. Your husband's here with you.
It makes me feel so wonderful. He's here, and it makes everything so wonderful. I'm happy he's here. Wonderful to see you again.
Yes, it's been too long. Was it a year and a half or two or something like that?
Yeah.
You haven't exactly had a quiet time, have you?
Not really. It's been quite busy. I've been touring. I've been doing lots of things. But I finally see, I can't say the end of something, but I can finally see a beginning of my new life. And I'm looking forward to this. I gotta tell you, I had just had 2 months off a couple of months ago, and I started to cook.
But you like
And I
all
started
that.
to drive my own car. And then I went to the groceries and I was picking my own tomatoes, and I was like, forget the chauffeurs, forget the limousines, forget that. I can't wait to do
Real
that.
life.
I can't not wait to have a normal life.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward
Is
to
that
this.
right that you're going to take 2 years off at some
At
point?
least.
Yeah.
At least
What
2
for?
years off. Well, for many, many reasons. I guess in life you can't have everything at the same time. But at one point, you need a balance. I mean, you know, if you're home every day of the year cooking and raising children and working hard, I'm sure you can't wait to pack your suitcase and travel.
holiday or something.
But when you travel all the time and you're never home, it's where you want to be.
Yeah.
So I guess nothing's perfect, but I'm looking for a balance. So I want to be home. I want to have a normal life. I want to try to have a child.
Huh?
Not 14 kids like my parents, don't get me wrong. But I would love to try to have a child.
But you're not going to do just that for 2 years. I mean,
Of course not. No, but have a child, and you know what? What I want the most is my husband got sick not too long ago,
Yes.
and he told me, you know, that he needed me. It might sound like, oh, isn't that sweet? But I know I'm his favorite singer in the world. That I know. But when he took my face in his hands and he looked at me almost with not a panic, but like what I'm about to tell you is very serious. And he told me, I need you. There's no way I can go through this by myself alone. I need you. Mm-hmm. And for the first time of my life, something important was about to happen. He loved me, I loved him. We've been loving each other since the first day. But when you are needed, this is the most fabulous thing. I feel so powerful, and I just can't wait to be home with him and make a difference and
so
cook.
that's part of it, this 2 years. Being together, important times together.
Yeah.
Because I know you're very much a family person. I hope your wish for a baby comes true. Because you were one of 14 children.
I'm the last one. I'm the 14th child. I'm not even supposed to be here. My parents had 13 children, and then she had twins, Paul and Pauline, and she said, basta, enough, that's it, I did my job pretty good. And then she said, the twins going to start school, and I'm going to go and I'm going to have a job, I'm going to make my own money, I'm going to have my own friends, I'm going to see the world, and I'm going to go out of these four walls. Well, guess what?
You came.
The twins started school, 6 years old, and the first day they started school, she found that she was pregnant again. I felt bad for her. But I gotta tell you something even more fantastic than that. Now I'm a grown-up child, I'm 31 years old, I'm married. She still have her 14 children. But I said, you know, I just couldn't, I think that my mother would have just go for traveling and drive her car and go and see her friends. And no, you know what she's doing now?
Wow.
She has her own, she's 72 years old and she has her own television show.
What?
I know, I know.
What, she's singing? Well, is she? I don't know. Was it that funny?
Yeah. Well, actually, she's doing, like, it's an everyday show. everyday show, and it's like a cooking show. And she interviews people. She goes to the stars' homes, and they show her recipe, and she interviews them. I cannot believe my mother's doing that.
Your mother looking like Ainsley Harriott. Can you imagine?
Every day she does a television show.
This new album.
Yes.
I'm very interested in the Sinatra track you've done all the way.
I am too.
I mean, how'd you do that? Because it's wonderful. How'd you actually sing and kind of harmonise with Frank, don't you?
Well, I would have loved to meet Mr. Sinatra. I have a lot of respect for his talent and the movie, and I can't believe the way he used to sing and smoke, and I wondered so many times, maybe I should give it a try, I don't know. But amazing smoking, and when somebody loves you, and I'm like, so impressed. And Renee, we were talking about it one night, and he said it's so unfortunate that we couldn't meet him. And then he got lost in his thoughts, and he came back and he said, maybe we can still sing with him. And he called Mrs. Sinatra, and she was enthusiastic by this idea. And Renee called David Foster and he said, can you put this together? And it went on, and when I put the headphones and I started to sing with him, I didn't have to make a note, I didn't have to sing. He took me with him, he took me under his wings, and we went for a walk together, and it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah. I
thank him for that.
Thanks, Celine, for flying in. Busy time of the year for you. Best wishes for the new millennium. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So always nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Going to sing for us now. Celine, thank you. Bye-bye. Celine Dion. Guest appearing on the show is a member of the sensational, successful group Take That. Today, he's one of the most successful solo pop stars in the business. Please welcome Robbie Williams.
You're not singing, are you?
Oh, God. Listen, the last time
That's where I left it.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what that is. I haven't worked out what that is yet. It's a new set and a new prop situation. The last time we had a chat, you were with Take That, and you were sort of mumbling quietly about the rules and the regulations, things you could and couldn't do, one of which was no dating for how long?
For a couple of minutes.
Yeah, but your manager was saying no dating for 2 years, wasn't it?
Something like that. I can't remember now.
Well, I mean, you were asked politely to leave the group, and they said that it was something to do with that trip to Glastonbury. Right? You remember?
Well, yeah, apparently I wasn't supposed to go to such a rock and roll festival by myself.
But wasn't it more than that? Didn't you go in a limo, a stretch limo, with 15 bottles of bubbly and 2 ladies?
My mother and my grandma.
Oh, not what I heard. It was a couple of gorgeous creatures, and you got the sack, right?
Yeah, indeed. That's for legal reasons, I can't speak about that now, but that was all the truth, yes.
What did you feel like, though, when you got the sack?
It was horrible at the time, but, you know, it was something that I had to fight through and to get here and prove that I can make it as a solo artist.
Well, you've done that. But the 16 months that followed that sacking, that was a bit of a blur, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I'm not talking about a band.
Yeah, it was very much a rock and roll roller coaster. But, yeah, but I had a great time, though.
Do you remember any of it?
No, but I was told I had a great time.
The engagement, Nicola, I mean, is it on? Is it? Oh, it's still on? Are you wearing a ring? Yeah. That's interesting. Guys don't usually wear the rings, do they?
Well, I wanted one. I paid enough for hers.
Is it hard to stay in a relationship in a business like this where you're both successful, you're on the other side of the world?
Well, yeah, it is, but, you know, I've got nothing else to relate it to. I've never had a relationship out of my sort of lifestyle, so, you know, I don't know if it's any different to anybody else. But we seem to be getting on all right, you know, and she's being very successful, and I'm enjoying what she's doing, she's enjoying what I'm doing, and hopefully, you know, we can make it work somewhere down the line.
Where did you meet? Did you meet in the business? I mean, at one of these pop concerts or something?
Yeah, we met at some concerts that we were both doing. We were both on the same bill, and we happened to get talking, and...
It wasn't one of those across a crowded room, was it? Was it one of those? Did she buy that for you, by the way?
It was across a crowded room.
Was
in
it?
fact, there was 30,000 there. I was stood watching her on stage.
And you thought, that's for me?
Well, that's the one. That's the one I want.
And then you went around and had a little chat, did you?
Yes, as you do.
Was it kind of reciprocated, or did she back off?
No, actually, what really happened is I don't chat people up. I can't. Honestly...
Come off.
No, I get fear of rejection, so I read through magazines to see who fancies me.
I read that, don't believe.
Oh, shit, right, OK, I'm in. That was how it happens.
How's your mum?
She's fan. Hi, Mum. Hiya.
Because last time I was here... Yeah. I'm big with Robbie's mum.
Yeah, I actually did this with Parky, so my mum's got a video player that takes snaps, and I've got Parky, so I want you now.
Wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, I'm going to watch this with interest, because I think you will one day be doing the entertainer as well as the pop star entertainer.
Hey!
That makes me nervous. You're going to do a track from the new album called...
Millennium.
Millennium. Right, Robbie Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you. Good luck. Give me the old glasses. Robbie Williams. Tonight is celebrating 30 years of stardom. 18 number ones, every appearance. You can't get in. I had a bit of a job getting in here myself tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Diana Ross. Now, Diana, this is the third time here. I mean, we've got to keep meeting like this. I know you zipped in, and I suppose it's a kind... Well, will you be seeing Arnie? Because it's a very unusual arrangement you've got, your sort of marriage arrangement. Is that right, that he lives a lot of the time in the UK and you live in the USA?
Well, his profession, his career makes it... His work works easier from here, from London. And my career, of course, works... Well, either place, here or in America, but I'm being American. My children are brought up over there and they're in school. It's hard for us to be together all the time. But there's a special freedom in a relationship that is separate like that, because what happens is we both keep our individuality. It's difficult mostly for the children. But for me, I think every time we come together, it's very romantic and it's like renewed. There's some renewing time there.
Honeymoon time, is it?
Yeah, it's like new each time. It's special, so. Right now, it's understandable, but I think in the long run, it's difficult for children that both parents need to. Or it's nice if they're both there, don't you think? Somebody tell her to get over there. I might have to move over here.
Yeah. I think they'd like that. Did you enjoy writing the book, Secrets of a Sparrow? That's an interesting title, Secrets of a Sparrow. How'd you come up with that?
Well, Sparrow, my mother used to call me a sparrow. And then there was this song that she loved, a spiritual, an old spiritual called His Eye is on a Sparrow. And in fact, when she passed away, we sang it for her at her funeral. But it is a very moving spiritual. And it's a song that sounds as if you're being protected somehow. And Secrets of a Sparrow is just that. It's some of the secrets, some of the things that has happened in my life that I've never really talked about. And I use writing the book like therapy in a sense, you know, trying to find out why you do what you do and how is this wonderful life possible, what makes it so, you know, I've had a very special, blessed life.
You've had a fun life too, haven't you?
Yes, goodness, I'm telling you.
That's the one thing, if I'm honest, that I missed in the story. The one thing that didn't seem to be was humour, that I know you laugh and you like comics and you go to parties. If you were throwing a party tomorrow, who would you invite? I mean, who do you think would be the most fun at a party? Who are your friends?
I've been really thinking about this because next year I have my 50th birthday.
What?
To give this really, really big birthday party. And then I thought, nah, maybe I'll just give a small, intimate party with the people that I love, my friends, family, and so on.
Music.
Yes.
You've had this little knack over the years, Diana, of remaining contemporary and yet not giving up the quality of the music. Do you take a long time to decide what kind of single you're going to issue?
I love the romantic ballads, and I've been lucky over the years to really find some wonderful ones. Endless Love, and When You Tell Me That You Love Me, and If We Hold On Together, and these two, which I think are tremendous. I found this song, Best Years of My Life, and Your Love, which I'm going to do for you today. Our new single here in the UK is called Your Love, but I found this song and I save it. I wait for the next recording sessions, and I won't let anybody know what the song is because I don't want someone else to record it before I do. But to find a special song, it's like a gift.
Isn't it?
And a lot of times you attract these, the really good songs, and you have to hold on to.
And you're going to sing the new song for us now?
I'm going to, yes.
New song is called Your Love.
Your Love.
And we're glad you stopped off before your shopping and see that husband soon.
Yes, I see him all the time,
Oh.
you know. More than people think. I think we talk about our living arrangement, but we spend a lot of time.
I must tell you
together.
one true little story. I did a talk show in this very studio many years ago, and the host was a man called Eamon Andrews, sadly no longer with us, and we had an actress called Susan Hampshire, and she lived in England and her husband lived in Paris. And they were talking about this on the air, and she only saw him at weekends, she said. And Eamon Andrews turned to me and said, would that kind of arrangement suit you? And I said, well, if her husband doesn't mind, I don't mind. Anyway, we're delighted you're here and you're going to sing this song for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Diana Ross.
Thank you.
Now, my next guest has had more hit singles than any other recording artist in the entire world of pop music. And if that's not enough, he's right now starring in a musical which has the biggest box office advance in history. Who else? Cliff Richard! Now, Cliff, I'm going to take you back first. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about Heathcliff later on.
Yep.
Wimbledon. The summer.
When it
rained.
I know.
I mean, I was spontaneous. Did you suddenly think, I'll do this?
No,
or
I
did
didn't.
someone ask you to do it?
Someone asked me. In fact, I was doing a radio program at the time because it had been raining for quite a while, and I'd told Radio Wimbledon that I'd come in if it rained. So I went in and was chatting to the people there about the tennis that had been played in the week, when I got this message thrust in front of me, and it said the secretary would like to see you in his office. And of course, I'm a new member at Wimbledon, and I thought, oh no, I've left my tie off, I've been rude to somebody or something. Anyway,
You've been rude to somebody?
well, you never, inadvertently, of course.
Of course.
But I went to the office, and he said, look, my wife's had this idea. Mrs. Gorringe, it was her idea, actually, so blame her. And they said, look, they've had no play on for 2 hours. Would you do something? I said, well, I've got no guitar. He said, well, supposing someone interviews you and maybe could you do a song? And I thought, oh, OK, I can get away with some holiday or something. So I did, but it grew and the public seemed to like it. Then all the tennis players all came out.
That was wonderful. You had all the backing girls.
Yeah, Martina was there and it was just fantastic. Virginia Wade came up. It was phenomenal. And so I did 20 minutes. You know what it's like, Tess.
Oh, God. I know exactly what it's like. They booked me for next year. And I'm going to take my own hose pipe just in case it doesn't run.
The funny thing is, though, they didn't quite understand how the next day when it rained again, they all kept going,
To you?
Yeah, and I said, no, this can only happen once. If something spontaneous like that, you can't really manufacture that again. It won't work. I said, it just won't work. And
Tennis is very much a part of your life, isn't it? Have you played Henman yet? Because I know you all play with all the pros.
No, I've never played Henman yet, but I've never lost to Agassi.
No. I tell you what, I played tennis with you. I got to tell you a story of you. He asked me to play. Now, I said to him I'd never played, and I don't think he believed me. And I'd never played tennis.
After I saw you, I believed it.
I've got to tell you, because Cliff, I'm not trying to sweeten him up, he really can play. And you got one devilish serve. And I'm standing there, and he's serving to me. There was Joe Drury over this, Joe Drury on this. And you had, I think it was Claire Wood, but I'm not sure. And Cliff serves to me, and he knew the crowd would like. And the ball hit me just below the player's entrance. Remember? Yes. So the next one he serves, and it nearly got me there again. And I thought, he's got my range. They really whistle past you, these serves. So he went, and I could see the glint in his eyes. You got the bit between. So I said, just a minute, Cliff. And I went over to the side, and there was a wooden hoarding, and I brought it back and stuck it in front.
Yes, I do.
But they're wonderful occasions. I mean, you get a lot of money for charity and for your the New Stars system. Which
yes, I've got a thing called the Cliff Richard Tennis Trail, and what we do is take tennis round to inner cities around the country, and we've introduced tennis to multiple tens, if not hundreds of thousands of youngsters now, because you can't get a Tim Henman at the top unless you've got a bedrock of people playing at the bottom. And now we've got Tim. Okay, he's not at the very top at the moment, but there's every chance. There's every chance he'll be in the top 20, and he has the talent to break into the 10. But if we want a Sampras or a Becker, you need a load of people playing tennis in the country from a very young age. And I always think our brief is not to find a champion, it's to bring health and some enjoyment to the nation.
You can't all be champions.
No, of course not, because if you're playing tennis at the age of 8, you can still play it when you're 80, you know, with Des.
What are you looking at me for?
But, You can play within your standard, and
I'll get you playtime.
This is a great sport.
It is a great sport. Since you were last on the show, you have the knighthood, and you are now Sir Cliff.
Yes.
Is that I don't know whether it's changed your life. What did the Queen say? I suppose everybody asked you that. Can you remember the actual dubbing?
I can't remember, except that I'm burbled. I was totally at a loss for words, as I am now.
Yeah.
It was so emotional that I can't remember what happened. It's something I could never have dreamed of, and when I finally got this letter saying that you're being thought of as a possibility, a possible
Is that what happened?
candidate.
You're being thought of?
Yes, you're going to be down as a candidate, and if the Queen says OK, then, you know, you'll probably get one. And so you're sworn to secrecy from then onwards.
But she liked you. We did the royal show together, and it was on that night. And you were chatting away to her like you was an old buddy. It was on the night, do you remember, Cliff?
Buddy.
Yeah, well, you were. When she said we're running late, you said blame him, and you pointed at me. You did.
Well, I did. Well, you know, you've met the royal family a number of times, and I think over the years, and remember, you and I have been going for 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, yeah, must be. 6 or 7.
We've had the privilege of meeting people like the Queen and the Prince and various members of the family many, many times. So although you never get onto an absolutely chummy footing, there comes a point, though, where I think it feels a little more comfortable, so that you feel freer to say, oh, blame him, Your Majesty, you know. Because also they quite like it if you treat them as normal people. They're not normal by any standards, and yet they are, if you know what I mean.
That particular night, if you recall, it was the night that the famous Panorama interview with Diana was going on television.
Yes.
And apparently the Queen had, or someone said she'd had the videos set. And we thought she might go down the line like this, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and gone. But no, she's going down, she's really charming. She was in a hurry, it's the first time I've seen her go home to the palace on a motorbike, but she was very nice.
She was fantastic, but she always is. Yeah. I love the royal family, I must say, with all the problems they've had. I do enjoy the fact that we as a nation have got something that very few nations have on the planet.
We've got a tradition too. I read, it was on another subject totally here, that you said, if the time ever comes when you think you need plastic surgery... But this is what it said.
I'll go to your surgeon.
I want you to know, Cliff, that I've had nothing moved or tampered with. It may not be much, but what you see is...
Apart from the tennis match.
Yeah, apart from the tennis. Yes, I nearly had to have something fixed after that. Would you have a little bit of plastic surgery if you needed to?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if you had something growing on your face that looked ugly, you'd have taken off.
Tooth, you'd have the teeth.
Yeah, if tooth goes wrong, you take it out. You're tampering with nature. Or, pardon? Tampering. It's a surgeon. He was waiting for me backstage. It's the. So that I can't see anything wrong with it. And also, when you see people who have had it successfully done, like people like Cher, who has openly said, look, I've had surgery taking place. I mean, she does look fantastic.
Oh, people admire her. They do.
Well, it's fantastic. And I always think, if you have a little tiny tuck or two done, it'll probably last you about 15 years. Well, I mean, I won't need another one.
A little while ago, I read you give yourself pocket money. I mean, you earn a lot of money, Cliff. I mean, and you put apparently $2 million into this musical of your own money. And that you give yourself pocket money. Is that right? That you just, how much?
I get myself cash. I get 40 quid a week.
It was 35, you're going mad.
I know, well, inflation and all that.
Oh, I see.
Although that's down, I know, but don't tell the accountant.
So what do you do with £40 a week?
Well, it's just a matter of having some cash on me, because sometimes...
Well, what do you spend it on?
Well, I don't know. It's just literally for...
You don't squander it, I hope. No.
Oh, no. Not me, Des.
You said, now I've got to get this right, this is a quote. You said, I've loved, I've felt love, I've lost love, and there are times when I wish someone would love me. Does that mean, Cliff, that there are times when you are lonely?
Not anymore. I mean, I think we all go through periods in our life when all of this business comes into it about loving marriage, maybe, not marriage, maybe. But as I've got older, I've suddenly thought, well, I don't think I'm ever lonely now. There was a time when you thought, oh, well, you know, maybe it would be good to sort of just say goodbye to everything and go off to a fantasy island with somebody. But that sort of faded away in the last 5 or 10 years, really. And so I don't hanker after that. I often think now, for instance, I'm really happy being single.
You wouldn't get married now?
I'd never write marriage off, Because you can't say that, can you? Because if you met somebody the next day and you thought, this is it, this is the person I cannot live without, then I would get married. But until that happens, I don't bother chasing it.
Heathcliff is a dream for you come true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something I've dreamt about since I left school. And for me, every night, I get out there, the
What about the opening night? Can you remember the opening night, how you felt at the end? Did you really feel...
Oh, yeah.
Was that?
It felt really fantastic because I didn't know what to expect. And when you have a fan following, as pop singers do, the fans tend to know exactly what they want from you. And if you don't give it to them quite rightly, they'll tell you. And all I know is that I've given them year after year all the things that I know they want to hear, the summer holidays, the young ones, the living dolls, the we don't talks, the devil woman, all that stuff, and introduced a few new things now and then. But Heathcliff needed for them to look at me and see me in a completely different light. And what thrilled me was, some fans have said to me, give it half an hour, they said, we actually forgot it was you. And when my sisters tell me that...
That's great.
I
couldn't say anything better, actually, could they?
No, it's the biggest compliment ever because I have to be somebody else.
It's a real emotional, passionate thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
On the... I nearly said on the moors. On your Cliff Richard, ladies and gentlemen, could do a song from who? Thank you, Cliff Richard. Yes, has become one of the family here. We're very happy about that. We couldn't have a nicer relative. Top lady, Shirley Bassey. Sit down.
I think just about. Oh.
Yep. Do you need any help?
I've got this box, you know, sort of speaking box here.
Oh, it's a microphone in there
inside my
somewhere.
dress.
Somebody's got a lucky job. I don't want to get sycophantic with you, Shirley. We know each other
You
too
better not.
No.
You did that before.
Well, I'm inclined to over-flatter and say all the right things because, you know, we're just glad you're here. But this, I mean, you've been to CNA's again. You've gone mental. This is and you do look fantastic.
Thank you. I feel great.
When you look 40...
You look pretty good
yourself.
for 40.
Well, yeah, thank you. I love this girl. Well, when you look 40, why do you tell people what you're going to do in what, 5 days? No, January the 8th.
Yeah.
January the 8th, you're going to tell people... Spit it out.
No, I can't.
Spit it out. She's going to be...
No, I can't.
She's going to be 60.
Oh!
I can't believe this. I can't believe that you are now eligible for a bus pass. I cannot believe that you'll be popping down to the post office to pick up your pension. I cannot see you in the queue. What's your ideal birthday present if it comes to you? What would you like to open up on your birthday and say, oh, that's it, what I've always wanted?
A tall, handsome stranger.
Ah. So you are sort of still got options open?
Oh, I'm terribly romantic. I mean, you know that.
Yeah. Well, I actually did, for one evening, many, many years ago, and I wasn't going to mention this tonight, actually date Shirley many, many, many years ago. I was about 12. And apparently you...
How old was I then?
You, 10. No, we were... I tell you, I was... I've said to people, because you're doing this new album called The Show...
Must Go On.
Must Go On. What a title for you. I've always said that you are the only concert artist I know that does 22 finishing numbers. She does 22 showstoppers. Even the opening song is a finisher, right? Now, most people would say, well, I'm going to finish on that. So what's the new direction you've taken with this new album? Because these are contemporary ballads. It's a different pace for you. It's a different mood.
It's the pacing. It's a different mood. I'm more laid back on these numbers. And some of them were an incredible challenge to do. We did the preparation, you know, and then I went away and went over to Ireland for a week and recorded it, the whole album.
Wish you every success with this album.
Thank you
You're going to do a song for us now from the album.
Yes.
The Show Must Go On. What are you going to sing?
what am I going to say? See, you're taking my mind off it.
It's called You'll See. You'll See. Well, we're looking forward to seeing and hearing Shirley Bassey. Go get on your mask. Come on, Shirley. Can you wiggle that way? Shirley Bassey, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to go over there, Shirley, to the office. Now then, in less than 4 years, my next guest has sold over 20 million albums. She's had 8 #1 hit records, and she's received countless awards, and she's only 23. We're happy to invite her back here tonight because this was the first show that introduced her to the British public. We're happy she's here tonight. Mariah Carey! Pleased to see you. They're pleased to see you. I'm pleased to see you.
I'm pleased to be here.
Well, life couldn't be sweeter right now for you at the moment. You've recently got married. Well, not that recently. Was it last year? June. And you had, as I said, eight #1. That's brilliant. But about 6 years ago, I mean, things weren't like that for you, were they? Suddenly you're making records. How did that happen?
Right. Okay. Actually, what I did is I've been singing my whole life. My mother was an opera singer, and she sang all types of music, really. But there was always music in my house, and I always loved singing, and I always knew I wanted to be a singer. So from the time I was like 13, I was working in studios with different people. She brought me around, introduced me to different musicians, like older musicians and things. I started out in the studio. So that's like where I learned about the whole process. And then I met a guy named Ben Margulies that I worked with. He became my writing partner. And while I was in high school, I used to drive into Manhattan, work till 3 in the morning, and go home and try to get up at 7 o'clock to go to school.
How old were you then?
Like 15, 16.
Yeah, wait a minute. You say it all sounds so easy. My writing partner,
okay,
15?
I met...
You were writing at 15?
Because I've been writing since I was a little girl. You know, I always knew I wanted to be a singer, and I always listened to the radio and said, you know, I could write a song. You know, what's a big deal?
You mentioned your mum was an opera singer, as you say. Your mum being an opera singer, did she coach you? I mean, you have this extraordinary, I think it's 5 octaves, isn't it? You can...
I don't even know what it is.
Well, that's what they tell me. They also say you've got a whisper register, which a lot of people think I should have. What is a whisper register? Is it technical?
Somebody told me that. I don't even really know what it is. It's supposedly, it's like I do this high thing with my voice, and I don't know if you've heard on any of my records. Please don't ask me to do it now.
I wouldn't ask you to do it now. Could you do it for us?
But no, it's kind of like I don't really know how to explain it. It's just a certain part of my voice that I've always had that I can hit certain notes.
Well, it is quite extraordinary. Let's talk about your personal life, not too personal for a moment. Your wedding. Your wedding. I saw the pictures. I mean, you had guests there. How about this for a guest list? Some of the people were Barbra Streisand, Robert De Niro, Bruce Springsteen, let's get his name right. I don't want him writing to me. Billy Joel. It must have been a lot of... Did you get a lot of toasters? What sort of presents?
Toasters? No.
Must have been just wonderful.
It was a lot of fun, you know. I mean... Tommy has a lot of those friends because of, you know, he's been in this business for a long time, so he has a lot of people that are in this business that are successful, which is great, you know. But to me, the most important people there were like, you know, my family and my friends and the people that mean a lot to you.
Your husband is the boss of the record company that you're recording for. Do you two clash, Tommy Mottola and you? Do you clash over material or career moves or things like that?
I mean,
it's a little early for arguments, but
right.
Well, you can have different points of view on where you should be going and what you should be recording.
The thing is, he's really a musical person. He's not just a record company guy. Like a lot of record company people, they start out selling cars or washing machines or whatever, and then they come into the music business. But he was a singer. He was signed to Epic Records a long time ago. He was a manager. He worked with artists his whole life. So he's really very, very in tune with, you know, where I'm at musically. So we kind of try to have our discussions about music and not so much about marketing or these type of things, because it just wouldn't be really good to do that, because I have my own definite opinions and he has his own opinions.
Two instincts coming together. It's not exactly a failure. 8 #1s so far. I mean, what else is there? Where do you go from here? 8 #1s, I suppose every record, it's got to be right now, hasn't it?
It's great. I mean, you know, having success is incredible. I've always wanted to do this my whole life, but you can't really base it all on chart success and #1s, because someday, you know, it can't last forever, and you know, someday I might want to do something that's not such a commercial thing. You know, I might.
Would you ever do movies, maybe? Like Whitney Houston did movies. I'm sure you could do movies. Would you fancy acting?
You know, I'm really focusing on my music right now because that's what I've always wanted to do. You know, some people get into music so they can segue into acting, and it's kind of like a stepping stone for them. This is my life. I love singing. I love music. I'm a producer as well as a musician and
yeah,
you know,
I noticed
a
that
writer.
with the producer credit on that.
So a lot of people, you know, women or whoever that do movies, it's kind of easy for them if they don't write their own songs or produce. You know, if that's just not what they're into, it's easier for them to go and do a movie because they're not doing their whole thing. I'm doing my whole album, like from start to finish. So I have to focus on it.
She's one of the most exciting performers in the world. It's a pleasure simply to say, Tina Turner! What's your name?
All right.
Now, you were on the show, what, it must have been about 5 years ago?
About 5 years ago. That's right.
And we didn't get a talk?
Yes, we did. We had a talk
Briefly on the steps, we had a couple of minutes.
You were complimenting my dress, and I asked you if you wanted it for your girlfriend. You remember that?
That's right.
See, I remember pretty good.
You, what a mind.
Something.
Now, I know that you say that you don't like to do... singing is your game, and you don't like the interviews. In fact, I heard you describe it as like going to the psychiatrist, right?
That's the thing I said. It's like interrogation. Interrogation is just like question after question, day after day.
No, not tonight. Just relax. Lie down on the couch. It's not the psychiatrist. It's you and me having a little trying to find out. I mean, what has it been? Apart from the movie Goldeneye, you've taken it easy, haven't you, for a couple of years or so?
Yeah. Well, I was actually living in Germany for a while, and then I moved to Switzerland. And I've been just getting organized, and half of the year went to listening to music and preparing for the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. I mean, last time you were here, I think you had a home in London and summer.
Yes. I lived here. I lived here for about 3 years.
But not now?
No. Well, almost as much as I'm here. I do most of my work here. And
where is your home these days?
Switzerland.
You're happy in Switzerland?
Oh, yes. I like it because it's very clean. I think it's healthy. Yeah. And people kind of leave me alone to a point. I mean,
is there a pressure? I mean, like when you're living in America, is there a pressure on Tina Turner? Are people leaning on you and expecting you to be out there all the time, buzzy?
Well, it's kind of expected. I think people think that I'm the person that I am on stage. I promise you I'm not.
What are you? What are you? Are you quiet? Are you the opposite of the Tina? I mean, you're just such a bundle of energy up there. You're wild. Do you know you're wild up there?
Yeah.
So what are you
Because that's what the people want. They want entertainment. They want action. Yeah. And so, well, yeah, I've always. That's my life.
But does the business pressures because you're Tina Turner, does that get a little too heavy to cope with at times?
No, my manager takes care of those pressures.
Yeah. You see, I don't see anything phasing you. You look to me the kind of lady say, let it wash over you. Are you a worrier?
No.
You don't worry?
Well, I worry and I find out what the problem is and I take care of it. Yeah. And then actually I'm Buddhist and I've learned.
Does that help being Buddhist?
Yes. You just don't hold on to things when there are problems. You just get right to whatever the problem is, discuss it, take care of it, and verbally in whatever way you can, and then you have more of a peace of mind, less stress.
You worked with some wild people, I mean.
I'm wild, there's wild people.
You attract them, do you? Rod Stewart?
I attract them.
What about Mick Jagger? I mean, you've got a lot of good things to say about Mick Jagger, haven't you?
Yeah, Mick is like a brother that I never had. We're just a pair when we work together because the personality is one. We're alike when it comes to being naughty on stage and enjoying it. Yes, because it's, I'm the kind of performer that I like to make the people forget just for a moment of how the world is changing and just to have a good time and let go. Mm-hmm. And you were definitely someone who was born to sing, someone who was born to perform. Yeah. I mean, there's no denying that. Just being near you, I can feel the buzz. Can you imagine a life when you wouldn't be able to get up there and strut your stuff and do Tina's thing? Well, that's a bit far-fetched. I don't know. I like my work. I love my work. Mm. I like having the time off, being able to have the time off now to be able to know that there is something else other than backstage and televisions and interviews. And it's good to be a normal person or as normal as I can be. But yeah, then there's that little inkling that one gets when it's time to maybe just sing and dance again and enjoy it,
I know you don't want to talk about the past, and I agree with you. We've seen the move, we've seen it all, leave it behind, and you've got a positive attitude anyway. You're looking forward. What is up front? What's along the road? You're going to do a tour here, right?
Yeah.
And that starts, if I'm remember, in June 30th, is it?
It's about here. Actually, it starts April in
April.
Paris.
April?
No. Yeah, we start in Paris and we move around. So I think I get here about June.
June through nearly to July.
Yes.
And you're going to be at Wembley for a while?
Yeah.
Well, if you see a little fellow with binoculars, that'll be sitting down there. Saying, yeah, go Tina, go, I'll be down there. And the new album, that's, I mean, the involvement also here is the Pet Shop Boys, you two. When I say you two, I don't mean you two. I mean the group.
Yes.
And this is going to be, you've done an album. It's the first studio album, and even longer, in 6 years or something.
That's right. Yeah, it's a long time. Well, actually, there was a movie between the soundtrack album and some compilations. There's been action with, how do you call it, resurfacing recordings of mine, but this is the actual original recording studio album for about 6 years.
Does it feel like you're starting again? Does it feel like...
No, because I haven't. I'm always doing a bit of something. There's always an award show, or there's always something in the limelight. But this part, I think I've done it so long, it's just like making a U-turn now, going back to do it again.
Yeah. Well, we wish you lots of success with the tour, with the album, and you're going to sing a song for us now, right? It's from the new album. What's this one called?
This one is called Whatever You Want Me to Do.
Well, we want you to sing, don't we? Yeah! Tina, get on your marks.
What do you want?
Whatever you want. Tina Turner. Tina Turner. My next guest is one of the most successful recorded artists in the world. She's won every award there is to get, and she's sold millions and millions of records. Will you please welcome Janet Jackson? I think they're glad you're here, Janet.
I love you too.
I'll do the interview. It's nice to have such an enthusiastic crowd out there, obviously, for you. What do you make of us English? What do you make of us? I know you've been here before, but...
Yes, several times. I love it. I love it here.
I can't help but notice the ring. The fashion.
Oh, here?
Yeah. I'm just gonna... She likes it. I mean, you've got such a stunning face. Why did you feel the need to do? Is it fashion, following fashion, setting fashion?
No, just since I was in high school, I've always loved piercings and tattoos, and I love scarification. Not that I'm going to do that, but and dreads, and I'm.
Does it hurt when it's done?
Doing this, they say the one that hurts the most is the nose and the nipple.
The what?
The nipple and the nose, but.
With my nose, either way, it's going to be difficult for me, so I don't think I will. Hey, are you saying there are other parts of you that you pierced?
Yes, but...
We would like to know. I'd like to know, if you don't mind talking about it.
Well, I've taken some out, actually.
Taken them out? Yeah,
and some I've kept. Just got tired of some, and some I've kept.
You mean there's been quite a lot of this going on?
Well, no, like I had my tongue pierced for I don't know how long, for a really good while, and I took that out a good while ago. And I had my navel pierced first. That was the first thing I did. I took that out a long time ago. And
in the old days, a fella just to pull a girl needed charm. Now he needs a magnet, doesn't he?
Well, it's really tough going through the airport.
Oh, do you get? That's an interesting thought. Does it pick you up when you go through that?
No, actually, it doesn't.
It's probably a good job, because if they want to check you out, you could be in there for hours.
Exactly.
You mentioned tattoos. You've got tattoos?
Yes, I do. I have 3.
Where?
I know the next question. I've got one here on my wrist.
Yeah. What is that? I can't see it.
This is, can you see that? What camera? There it is. Can you see that? That's one of the logos that I've used for the album.
Oh, yeah.
It's South African, from the Sankofa tribe, and it means to walk into your past and deal with your past in order to move into the future, to build into the future.
And the others?
One's on my back.
We won't ask you to show us that.
Okay. And, well, you really won't want to know where the other one is or see it.
Oh, I do now. I see you changing your image. I wouldn't say it's raunchy, but it's
Well,
There's
I
more
hope not. Jeez.
sensuality. There's more sensuality in everything you're doing. Seems to me, you know, all of it, the writing, the performance. Is this something because is there a danger that in going for a new Janet that you might lose some of the fans you've had so long?
I think it's very important to, excuse me, be on the edge, but I think it's a very fine line, and one can actually go over the edge, and I've seen it happen before. For myself, I get bored with things, and that's why it's a constant change for me. Like I've changed my hair several times and just done different things, and it's just a matter of me.
Do you actually get bored with yourself? You know, you look and you think, I don't like that anymore.
Exactly. And I will change it.
Everywhere I go in London, and I think all over the country, I see these posters of you everywhere for Velvet Rope, the new album. You're happy? I mean, it's started very well, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm very pleased, yes.
Something really, you're pleased about that, I can tell.
Well,
yes. Tell me about, they say that when you were, now this might be just a press story, so you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Said that when you were recording it, you would really get into the mood of it, and on one of the sessions you started taking your clothes off. Can that be true? Can it be true?
Yeah, that's true.
It's true!
Well, the thing is getting into the mood of the song, I've always done that. It's just no one has ever asked me until Andy, the journalist, happened to ask me, and I told them about it. Just getting into the mood of the song, and I like to light candles and have it completely dark in the vocal booth. And I will begin to take shirts off or unzip my pants and do things like that. And
could I come to one of your recording sessions? It's not new to me. When I recorded a song, you would know, it was a big hit here called Dick a Dum Dum. It's true, I had Dick a Dum Dum. It's not rude, it sounds rude, it's not rude. I took my socks off. I was in there, and I took my socks off just to get the feel of it.
Oh, that's a change.
Where are you going to be Christmas? We're getting near Christmas. You're going to have a home Christmas. You're going to be here. You're going to be in America.
I'm going to be in the States.
Yeah. Are you looking? I mean, what are your memories of Christmases at home when you were young?
We didn't have them.
No, not ever.
No, because I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. That was the religion my family was studying. So we didn't celebrate Christmas or birthdays or Halloween or Easter. Nothing. My first birthday party I had when I was 23, that was such an experience for me with the Rhythm Nation tour. I was in Japan and I had my first birthday party ever.
So there has been some suppression along the way, whether you like it or not. I mean, and now maybe this is all part of you finding your real self and say, hey,
you mean like this?
Well,
that's what you meant, right?
Well, not just that, everything. As I say, the music is changing. It seems to me your attitude is changing, everything you're doing.
Well, I don't think it's me fighting. I think it's finally me letting myself out and for people to get to know who I am as opposed to...
well, that's what I'm saying. Within the religious area that you were at that time, there was a lot of, you can't do this, you can't have a birthday, you can't do this, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. And now you're out there and it's you calling the shots.
Well, I'm not a religious person today, but more of a spiritual person. Having a one-on-one relationship with God, I think, is very important. Believing in a higher being. And yes, I am. I'm doing what I want to do today.
You were performing on stage at a very early age, weren't you? What age? 6?
7 years old.
And Michael even earlier, wasn't it? 5?
On stage, Michael actually 4, I think it was.
4?
Yes, 4 years old.
That is quite amazing. Did Dad say, we're all going to do this, or did you get a choice? I mean, did you say, I don't want to do that?
For myself, I don't ever remember having a choice, but I never fought it. No. I never fought it.
But you love performing, don't you?
Well, yes, I do. I mean, of course, there were times when a friend of mine back at home, she would be, she was a Girl Scout, and I went to one of the meetings thinking, God, I'd love to do this, but knowing that I couldn't, because a few weeks later I'd be off performing or something like that, and wouldn't be able to participate. But I never said I want out of this. Yeah, I love doing what I do.
You've got so much in front of you. We wish you lots of success with this new album, and you're going to sing for us now a track. It's called Together Again, isn't it?
Yes, the new single.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Janet Jackson, you're going to sing for us. Thank you, Janet. Thank you so much.